Today we have Captain Wouts and Chef Kelly currently chartering the BVI and Bahamas on Power Cat OMAKASE. We discuss Moondragon, a week of silence, and a chance encounter with a hippie flutist. This is Stephanie Lowrey, and you're listening to the Songs in the Sails podcast. I do have one question before I will cut this out if you would like, whatever, and we don't have to use it. I'm just curious, you were on Moondragon before, yes?
Yes.
Were you on it when it sunk?
No.
Right? You're like, it wasn't me. It wasn't my fault.
Yeah, we should probably talk about that actually.
Yeah, we should, for sure. Everyone asks.
We even went to the butcher's yesterday, and he was like, "Hey guys, like, where have you been? Because we haven't been in the BVI for about 4 months." And then we just said we're in Florida. We got on a new boat, and his first thing was, "Oh, so not the one that sank."
I'm like, how do you know?
You're the butchers.
Yeah, everyone knows.
Word gets around quickly very quickly. It's ridiculous. There's the Coconut Telegraph, and sometimes it's not true. Sometimes it is true. You just don't really know.
So we had already handed in our notice. We were at home actually when it happened, and they were leaving the Annapolis boat show to come back to the BVI for the season. So they had a delivery crew on board, and we don't know any personally. It was 4 Canadian men, but everybody was sick, so yeah. It's nothing to do with it.
Okay, so let's get started. So where are you guys currently at? What boat are you on, and where are you chartering?
So we are currently in the BVI on the boat called OMAKASE. She is a 68-foot power catamaran, a Horizon Power Catamaran. Brand new. She was first launched in April 2023. And then we pretty much had our first charter on her during New Year's in the Bahamas. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we're currently in the BVI. We really like being over here as well because it's hotter this time around.
So yeah,
where the Bahamas was very cold, people didn't really swim much. And I guess that's why there's a lot more people around here as well, just because of the great temperature, especially now with the big cold front being up in stateside.
Yeah. It's freezing here, and I'm in Georgia. It's never this cold.
Yeah, it's always going in Texas.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So we're currently in the BVI until March. We leave in March. And then we will be using the boat for the owners. And then after that, we'll proceed and go back to the Bahamas. So the rest of the season will be in the Bahamas, doing charters over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one do you like better?
We have it's a weird relationship because we started off in the Bahamas when COVID happened. The BVI was closed, and we actually didn't know each other. We just saw this opportunity to interview for a job together, and it turned out we were both in St. Martin on different boats. So he'd go by in his little tender dinghy.
Dinghy, for sure, dinghy.
You've come a long way. It was a little dinghy. He came over, said hi, and then you're like, well, if I'm speaking to someone about this job opportunity, would you like to interview for it together? Send me your food, your resume, and all of that. And we actually interviewed it was a Bali 4.8 at the time in the Bahamas. And we ended up getting the job. So we flew to the Bahamas in January 2021 and fell in love with the Exumas.
Yeah.
And now after that, we then moved on to Windward, which is a Bali 5.4. We did a whole season in the BVI, followed by Moondragon, which is also in the BVI. Yeah. And now we went back to the Bahamas for the first time in like 2.5 years. And I was just like,
it didn't feel the same.
Yeah, I was like, I miss the BVI. But it had to do with the weather because it was cold. So I think Bahamas in the summer is amazing, and you're not going to get water like that anywhere else.
Right.
In terms of things to do on islands and things like that, I think we both would say we prefer the BVI. For chartering, there's somewhere on every island for the guests to go and explore.
Right.
So I think we would both say the BVI as it stands. It could change.
Yeah. Do you think you'll split your seasons every year, both in the BVI and the Bahamas?
So we haven't decided on it fully as yet, but I think for the time being, at least just the first season as well, we'll try and do a dual season. So we'll do about 5 months, 4 to 5 months in the BVI, and then the rest of the season we'll do in the Bahamas. Because we'll go to Turks and Caicos about 2-3 times a year, and then that's kind of where we'll swap around our seasons as well, because Turks is halfway between BVI and the Bahamas.
Yeah, very cool. What did you do before yachting?
Oh, should you go first?
Yeah, I worked in marketing, so I was doing brand activations. My job title was a conceptual designer, so I'd work in the creative team of like a big company, and then we worked with big brands, and my part of the job was coming up with ideas for like pop-up events for the brand. So if they're promoting a new product, what can we do that's going to be fun and get people to come in and like try the product, or whether it was make or drink. So that's what I did. It was quite fun. I guess I've always had a creative side, so now I just use it differently.
Right.
That's also why Kelly uses that specialties in the social media, and I just get a look at it and like it. Boom.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm posting and stuff on Instagram.
Yeah, it's like, Kelly, I want access to it. Yeah, but you don't do anything.
I don't do anything.
So yeah, I enjoy doing the Instagrams. That's all me.
Right. Very cool.
And then for me, before this, I did some corporate work in South Africa. First started off in some financing, and then kind of decided that it's not really for me. Yeah. And then I took a different kind of job where it was more hands-on based, where I was a manager of a company where we would like build safes and stuff. Then just kind of decided one day, you know what, I'm too young to be sitting in an office 24/7 like this. I need to get out there, go and explore, be adventurous. And had a friend who was actually studying at the time as well. And he told me, just go get your courses done and then start looking for work abroad. And then I went to Croatia and Montenegro, worked there. And then I actually came back to the BVI, and then I was a sailing instructor around here for about a year.
Yeah, and it's just a coincidence that I was in London doing that, and he was in Johannesburg doing that, and we were like on the same timeline, and we both just had, I don't know, I guess, an epiphany.
Yeah.
But you left a year earlier, but then we both led us to the same place at the same time. Yeah. So same age, we thought the corporate was not for us. And then I had a friend that was a chef out here, and she invited me out just like last minute. So I booked flights to the BVI for a week, and I was like, hold on. You doing this?
Yeah.
You know, you get paid to travel, meet new people, cook. I thought it's everything I like.
I know. I often think like, why did no one tell me about this before? Because I mean, I've loved my life. I've had a really cool life. I won't lie. I've gotten to do and meet a lot of amazing people, but I think if I'd have been on a yacht, that would have been way not cooler, but also cool. Yes, but also cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a different lifestyle, and a lot of people just don't know about it. But I'm glad that I crossed it when I did as well.
Yeah. It's like, so my family came to visit us, when was it, 2 years ago? So they came to visit for the first time after me doing this for about 6 years now. And then, because I used to like send them pictures of where we are, like a nice view over here, and they always thought that I never worked a day in my life. So like, oh, you're just like constantly on holiday in all these nice areas. Right. And then once they actually came to the boat, they're like, okay, hold on, you actually do work, and you work really hard. Like, I've been telling you this whole time that I'm actually working. I'm not just sitting on a boat taking pictures with pina coladas to you. Right.
I think one time he was fixing a blocked toilet or something. He came up and said, Kelly, take a picture of this.
And send it to my friends. I don't see that I'm working.
I guess we just don't advertise a non-glamorous part of the job, right?
Yeah.
So, are you jealous of me, like, fixing a toilet?
No.
We're going to show you the nice scenery.
Have you guys stayed friends since he brought his tender around to see if you wanted to work with him, or are you guys together now? So
I think the first 10 months we were just friends working together, and then
professionals.
Professionals. Well, we're still professionals.
Sorry, work colleagues.
And then we both went on holiday for a month in our various. So Kelly went to Northern Ireland, and I went back to South Africa. And because you've been like living together for 10 months, day out, Kelly decided to give me a break for a week without talking or anything. I'm like, but why? She's like, well, we're out of office. I'm like, okay, cool.
Why?
I'll do a week. And then I guess during that week, I was like, hold on. And I've been pretty much dating for 2 years now.
Yeah.
A bit more than 2 years.
Yeah, so you cried every day that week is what you're saying.
My husband would cry every day too.
Yeah. that's our story.
Yeah.
Very romantic.
Very
really.
cool. It is. It's sweet. I like it. Okay. So what does your day look like as a captain and chef?
Do you want to go first?
Well, you wake up first, so.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I'd probably start my day on charter around 6:30 and go straight to the galley. And I will actually, first of all, get all the breakfast stuff out. But before I start cooking breakfast, I'll do some prep for lunch and dinner. So like a dessert, or if it's like a salad-based lunch, I'll do the main work during breakfast. Right. Just because sometimes our days, we arrive somewhere around lunchtime, and then it's like, well, I don't cook underway. So as soon as we arrive there at lunch, majority of the lunch is ready. So we do breakfast at 8:39, kind of depends on what the guests want. We always talk about preferences. Some people like to wake up early, make the most of the day. Other people want to take advantage of the vacation and have a bit of a light. So don't tend to do breakfast after 9:30 then, because then kind of blends into the rest of the day.
Yeah, it takes about a lot.
And then while I'm serving breakfast, folks will do the heads and beds. And I'll stay in the galley, kind of keep an eye on the guests and see if they need anything more toast, more, whichever, juice, water. And then once they've finished eating, Wouts will help me clear the table. I'll put the dishes away. He'll start prepping the boat to leave. So then we'll go to the next location. And we like to just talk to the guests a lot, make sure that they're aware of what's happening during the day and they're happy with the activities. So Wouts will kind of like, what's the word? Touch base with every meal and say, this is what we're doing next. Everybody happy, etc. So he'll do that, and then we'll move on to the next spot. Then generally we have lunch before any activities, and then after lunch it's kind of a free for all. Chill on the boat and read, or go in the water, do water sports. Folks will take the tube out, wakeboard, water skis. And then after that, I like to do a little afternoon snack. And with my snack, Wouts will do his captain cocktail. So he'll select the cocktail for that day and do that. And then after the cocktails, I'm straight on to prepping dinner. And then that's when the guests kind of start winding down. They'll either carry on drinking cocktails, or they'll go down to their cabins, get ready for dinner. And then once that's done, Wouts helps me set the dinner table, which all the guests always look at me and say, wow, the table looks beautiful. And
I'm like,
yeah.
You have the magic touch.
Exactly.
And then somewhere in between, we'll split it between the two of us as well to do turn downs in the evenings. So I guess that's my day. After dinner, we do, Wouts again helps, he's like my
sous chef.
I didn't want to say that.
It's okay, I'll take it.
My assistant in the kitchen. No, we help each other a lot. So he'll help me with service, and then clearing up the table after dinner, doing the dishes, getting everything clean, so then we can join the guests and play some games with them, if that's the kind of group that we have. I think that's my day. Then I skedaddle off to bed, and Wouts stays up until the guests go to sleep.
And then I entertain.
Yes, you entertain. So you're the early bird and you are the night owl, so that you can hang out with everyone. Very cool.
To be honest, the time difference isn't that much. He'll be up after me, maybe like 30 to 40 minutes after me. And I don't go to bed too much earlier. And also, again, depending on the guests, if we're having fun, I just stay up and play the games. I'm not short.
Is there any food that you like to prepare over others? Like, what's your favorite?
My favorite, I would say overall, my style is Mediterranean, just because of the way I grew up. So I was born in Portugal and I lived there until I was 8. My mom is 100% Portuguese. So when we moved to Ireland, she just made sure that, all the kids are going to speak Portuguese at home, and I'm going to cook them the food that we eat in Portugal. So I've been quite lucky that, she's looked after us and fed us really good food throughout our whole lives. And then I've taken some inspiration from that. I think one of my desserts is actually still my mom's. She doesn't bake, very good cook, doesn't like to bake, but every year she'll make this one cheesecake, and I have now taken that recipe, and every charter I just elevate it a little bit.
Very cool.
Mediterranean is my influence, and I think since I've been doing this, I always reply with risotto as my favorite meal to cook, only because I love it so much that I've incorporated different flavors into it every time, and every time it can be different. And surprisingly, a lot of the times our guests don't know what the risotto is. So I'm like, okay, cool, this is new.
I'll stand there staring at an hour.
They'll think I'm exotic, but it's really just Italian.
Yeah.
So I do that a lot, and it's one of the favorites with the guests as well, actually. So I think that reflects, the fact that I enjoy making that the most, and then they also enjoy it the most. Yeah.
Is there anything that you feel like you can't do, like any preferences on meals, when it's no butter and no egg, or, when it gets kind of complicated?
So we were thrown into the deep end with the first owners. So that first job that we got together, the owners were vegan. And straight away I was like, okay, so I need to learn how to do this, which is good. But I look back, I think it was a really good thing to have. And then the owner after that was gluten-free, soy-free. Wow. And you find your challenges at the start, but then you learn how to work around it. So what I always say is, if I have a group that has preferences like that, my approach will be, most meals will be family style, because then everyone can kind of take what they can eat.
Right.
So that's how I approached it, except dinner. I never do dinner family style. Unless I do a braai night. So braai is, you've probably interviewed a lot of South Africans, but that's like their cultural barbecue night. So I'll do that once a week if I have big meat eaters, and folks will be responsible for like all the meat on the grill.
Yeah,
and that's my favorite one to do as well, because the guests always they always kind of join in with the fun and everything. So I'll be up top in the flybridge, busy on the grill, and the guests will like kind of come stand around, have a chat while I'm doing it and everything. And like once we serve it, they get this massive platter just full of meat, and like salads and all those things. And that's one of those just kind of family style, just get whatever, because there's so much to eat as well.
Right. Very cool.
Yeah, that's a good night. It's a bit different as well, because every other night you're doing like a 3-course meal with plated dishes. And I'm sure like guests love that, but it's also nice to then have like one casual night.
Yeah.
Do you ever take the leftovers and make a frittata? We had a meal on Saturday where there was a whole bunch of us, and a whole bunch of artists came over to our place, and then they took in the leftovers, like the steak and all like hash browns and different stuff, and put it into a frittata for the house.
Funny enough, we had that this morning.
We did have it this morning.
Honestly, I don't like to use leftovers during charter. We'll kind of eat the leftovers as it happens. But I love making a frittata. I always throw in a lot of different things, depends what I have on hand at the time. And then otherwise I would use leftovers for charter purposes. Like if I make risotto, I'll make too much on purpose, and then I'll turn that into arancini balls for an appetizer. But yeah,
that
generally
sounds really
speaking,
yummy.
yeah, I love a good arancini. But yeah, generally I wouldn't use the leftovers. I just feel too guilty.
Yeah. All right. Sorry. I spent a lot of time talking about chef. Now let's talk about the captain.
Finally my time to shine.
Yes, your time.
I guess, my day starts off, as Kelly said, I'll wake up at I'll be up at 7:30, and then kind of just go outside, make sure everything, if it rained, I'll make sure that the areas being used are dried up and cleaned up. And then kind of wait around for the guests to wake up, serve some coffee for them, have juices, everything ready, and then go do the cabins. And then kind of like as the day goes on, I think one of my favorite things to do as well is the water sports. Because I've been doing water sports since I was about 9-10 years old. So it's just one of those things that like I really find a lot of interest in it. Yet to get a backflip off the wakeboard, but we're getting there. So I really enjoy the water sports, especially if you have people who've never wakeboarded or been on an e-foil before, and then you kind of teach them or show them how to do it during the week, and then usually the second to last day, I think like, okay, cool guys, this is pretty much the last day we can really do water sports, and I want to see you try it and get it today. And then sometimes they get it, and you just like, you feel really good about being able to show them something brand new that they've never tried before, and then actually getting it. And we've actually had guests before try the e-foil and then not getting it on charter, but they were adamant that they needed to get it for the next time. And they bought their own e-foil back home, rode it a bunch of times, and when they got back on charter, they were all pretty much good at it. So that's
cool.
all. Like
you inspired them.
Exactly. And then Kelly always gives me trouble about this, but I enjoy fishing a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm not good at catching. I'm good at fishing, but not catching.
We
So I
love
guess,
to
like,
fish.
the idea of just trying at least, and it's like, you know, like when you're a kid and you just open up a little lucky pack and you never know what you're gonna get. It's the
Right,
same for
right.
me. Oh, fish on. Okay, cool. Let's go. What is it?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
Nothing. Oh, it's seaweed.
No,
Well,
we
so
got fish, but not a lot.
Well, one time we were in the BVI and we were fishing and it was nighttime. And so we were trying to just see what we could get. A lot of times it's, like a horse-eyed jack or a stingray, but we were like, maybe we'll get a shark, right? So we're fishing and we're like, oh my God, something is coming. And it's like heavy and we've got it. And you can see like this mouth is just coming up. We're freaking out. Everyone is freaking out. We're like, oh my God, we have the biggest shark we've ever seen in our freaking lives. Like, what are we going to do? It was a bucket and it was a bucket of sand.
That sounds like something I would do.
We were like, oh, and it was my husband pulling it up. He was devastated, like wrecked, because he thought, I got a shark. No, it was a
'cause, like, you
bucket.
put a lot of work and effort into it as well. And then, okay, we got this, like, the rod's bending, everyone's excited
Yeah.
for you, get everyone, their, like, phones out and everything. And then, oh,
Yeah.
no, sorry, it's just a bucket. Who just leaves a bucket in the ocean? in
Yeah,
the
you're
first
saving
place?
the ocean.
I know. Have you, so if you can't get a lot on, but have you ever tried to do tarpon?
So BVI, we aren't allowed to catch tarpon in the BVI. It's a protected
Yeah.
species, same as the lobster. So I always try and not go for the tarpon because they mainly come out during nighttime anyway.
Yeah.
So we'll truly, while we move up and down, we'll trawl through the channel and everything.
Yeah.
And then usually on our way to Nagata, we'll troll a lot as well. Just keep it at a good pace and then just get the best lure on that you have, or a lucky lure if you want to bring a lucky lure and put that on, you're good to go.
We have the best. Yeah. What is your lucky lure?
No, that's what I'm saying. He still has to find
still
it.
need to
he still has to
I'm
find it.
working on it. I did actually. I had one. It was a purple, silver, and black Rapala lure that like kind of digs down, and we were actually in the Bahamas, and we caught a 22-pound wahoo.
Yeah,
that was nice. That was good.
Yeah, we've got a good couple of fish here and there. But it's always like on charter.
Season.
Yeah. Or it's been when we're doing deliveries as well.
Yes.
So it's like you can't even, celebrate that much.
Yeah, I know.
When we've been in the BVI before, we always find better options when we're trolling versus just parked somewhere or anchored, Levi says blue and silver lure.
It's a purple and silver.
No, he's saying, I think he's saying to get a blue and silver.
I actually have one.
Should use it.
And I should.
He's saying give it a go. So we love to fish. We're ridiculously competitive, like really bad. And we've passed it down to our children. So he would probably know what lure to get because he's always trying to beat me.
Yeah, fair enough.
He's saying blue and silver and the BVI for tuna.
Ooh.
Oh, I've got a massive tuna one, but it's not blue and silver. It's yellow, green, black, and a little bit of red.
That's where you're going wrong.
All right. So, what is your favorite chartering destination?
I think we've discussed the BVI being the best chartering destination. But I mean, so I've been in Croatia and Montenegro as well, and those two are still like a really good charter destination for me. Like I'll go back any day, but it's such a different experience to what it is over here because the Caribbean and Europe's way different. Like the old churches and the ruins and everything and the old culture and the old food all in those areas in Europe. But over here, it's like no one's going to say no to a good old Caribbean lobster,
Right.
And a good old reggae music on the beach.
Yeah, because island life, I think it comes down to a lot of things. I think when picking the favorite destination, because I would agree. I worked in Croatia as well and Greece is beautiful, but it's just a completely different lifestyle. So maybe that's why we're always swaying towards the BVI because we live here and we just experience island life. I mean, if we were to vacation, I probably wouldn't select the BVI. I'd probably want to be a charter guest in Greece. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Yeah, I guess we're biased.
All right. What's your favorite dive or snorkel spot?
So for me, my favorite dive spot, because I'm a dive master as well. We have one in the BVI called the Rhone. And I think it was voted like one of the top 10 diving spots a year or 2 years ago, and it's absolutely fantastic. I think I've dove the Rhone probably a good 5-6 times last season. And then snorkel spot.
You did night dive there?
I did do a night dive there. That was sick, but it was scary as well because it's one side is just open ocean and it's pretty deep. And we also had no moon, so it was very, very dark.
Yeah, I'm not a diver, so that wouldn't be for me.
Yeah.
I'll tell you snorkeling though. I'll snorkel. This is where the Bahamas comes in, kind of above the BVI for me as the snorkeling. Just because I think it's pretty cool. You can swim with loads of turtles, and I'd like to see the nurse sharks and things like that. Yeah. BVI has loads of different fish, which is cool, but I think the Bahamas for me for snorkeling.
How do you feel about tiger sharks?
Just don't snorkel after 5 p.m. Yeah. Was it after around 5 as the sun goes down? We always just tell our guests,
it's time to get out.
Just get out of the water.
Yeah, I think just get out.
Oh, we actually have a good story about that too. So we had guests. We were in Wadrick Wells in the Exumas, and I told the guests there because they were the kind of people who would like take the tender and go just chill somewhere and have a drink or so, or they would want the floating dock on a sandbar and then just waiting over there and having a couple of drinks, which was really nice because it's right behind the boat as well. And then that also gives them time to just enjoy the area as well, rather than just staying on the boat. And I told them, hey guys, this area is prone to have like big sharks coming through here, like during nighttime or just before the sun starts setting. So I'll give you like half an hour before I think it's time to get out to say, okay, hey guys, let's get out. It's starting to get a little bit dark. And then they just completely ignored me, and I told them.
We were in the water with them for a little bit, and you got out.
Oh yeah.
So and then he said, "If I'm getting out, you guys should probably get out.
You should probably get out too."
And they thought,
they thought I was joking, and I wasn't joking. I was like, "I'm getting out. I'm not getting back in either. So you gotta come now." And I saw just down the channel, I see these 2 big black blotches coming towards us. I'm like, hey guys, not to panic, but please get out of the water. There are sharks coming. I can see them coming. I'm like, no way, can't be. The women kind of start coming towards the boat, and the men were like, no, I'm having more beer. It's fine.
Pass me some goggles or a mask.
Pass me a mask, and I gave them a mask.
Oh my gosh.
So they can look underwater, and he sees a shark coming straight towards him. And
oh my gosh.
And the wife starts panicking. She's like, Captain, why aren't you in the water? Like, you should help them. I'm like, I told you guys an hour ago, get out of the water. I'm not in there. I told you get in there.
I think it was just like a reef shark or a nurse shark.
It was a reef shark, yeah.
It was fine, but it was
that worked
funny.
out.
People always think that you're joking when you talk about sharks.
It's like, hey, there's a shark. There's an actual shark coming.
I was wakeboarding once and I landed on a nurse shark. They're harmless. They didn't do anything.
No. But I saw the panic set in though.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, Kelly, don't worry about that. Was a shark. She's like, what? Get me up.
I was still learning how to wakeboard and I've never gotten up so fast in my life. It was great.
That was good. Yeah.
Good. It's like, what was that dark spot? He's like, it's a shark.
Don't know how to wakeboard, get a shark involved.
What is your favorite charter memory?
So I think for me, we had guests on board in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
And for the primary's birthday, he wanted to be on the beach. And we were like, okay, cool, hold on. A lot of the beaches are private, so we can't really go. And we can go to one, but we have to be in the marina. And he said, just do whatever. Let's go have a day on the beach. And then Kerry and myself decided, okay, cool, we're going to rent 2 golf carts. I'm going to go on the first one. We're going to take the grill with us. We're going to a Yeti with drinks in. We're going to pack another Yeti with food, but did I say food or drinks the first time?
You said drinks, yeah.
Yeah, so food and drinks, 2 different ones, whichever. And then we took some water toys, and then I took the tender around or the dinghy around so that if they do want to do some water sports, we're already on the beach in like a little shaded
Like a cabana.
Like a cabana, yeah. We spent pretty much the whole day there doing water sports, playing on the beach. Just it didn't feel like we were working at all. It felt like we were just having a good day on the beach with friends.
Very cool.
Which is what they turned into. A month later, we went to visit them in their home.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. That's wonderful when it can happen like that.
Yeah. I actually think initially the preference sheet is like, we want to do this birthday. We only have to ask two things. We want a beach and we want steak. And I was thinking, ooh,
Both together.
how are we going to do steak? Like, yeah, but we hadn't actually taken our grill off the boat before.
Oh, right.
Highborn, they've got the little cabanas. They had the whole setup. So we just took the grill I had made salads to go with the meats. And yeah, it was just like the perfect day. And then you had the tender there on the water for whenever they wanted to do water sports. So yeah, that's definitely a highlight.
Yeah, for sure. And then I think we had a full moon party.
The trellis. Yeah, we took some guests to trellis full moon party, and that was a lot of fun.
That was my first time going, and I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put on a full show. They had like people on stilts. They had the fire breather. What else did they do? They just had loads of fun acts. So yeah, that was good.
Live music.
And I think it was just the parents and their young daughter. So I think it was more for the parents than anything else.
Right.
Everyone just had a good time. So that was cool.
Yeah.
New experience.
Yeah. I've actually never gone to one of the full moon parties. I've only heard wonderful stories.
They have a few different spots that do it, but I guess Trellis Bay does a kids-friendly version of that, because in the BVI they have mushroom tea available at most of these spots.
Interesting.
You can't buy it. Then it's like you're selling. It's like you're selling it. Then it's like, no, you just leave the nation. I'm like, what even is this?
Wow, I did not know that. That's interesting.
I don't know either.
No,
I have not attended.
I have not attended either.
All right. What is interesting and unique about you as a crew?
Do you want to take this one?
Yeah, I struggled with this one because obviously I think it's really cool that we've got a combination of cultures between the two of us, but I feel like in the yachting industry, that's probably not that exciting and unique, right? Because everyone is foreign. So I would say that there's not many Portuguese people around, so I'm going to take that one.
I'm going to take South African. There's too many of us.
Having grown up in Ireland, I've got like a good mix of cultures. And then obviously Wouts is from South Africa, he's Afrikaans. And that's, like I mentioned earlier, we do the braai night. That's kind of like how we try and bring a bit of our culture to the charter experience. Yeah. But I think on like a personality level, we're quite approachable people, I would say, but still like carry out which I don't want to keep saying professional, but like a professional charter experience for the guests.
Right.
But also fun. Like we try not to, we always like professionalism is always number one, but like a lot of people say we try not to like hang out with the guests too much, or like sit up, like we enjoy sitting down, having a conversation with them, playing games. And I guess it's proven to work because we always get invited back to go and visit them, and some people are like, you have to come and visit us.
Or they come back to the
to the boat. Yes.
Yeah.
That's I think important. The approachable one where people feel comfortable. We had a funny so we have a guest review book that we've had for like 3 years now. It'll be 3 years soon.
It's almost full.
It is. We had some guests, and one of the children was a teenage boy, but his sisters were already in their 20s. So they just all week were like, "You're so annoying. You're so annoying." Oh.
Yeah.
Just because he was the only one that wanted to go tubing, and Wouts was like, "No, I don't mind. Just tell me when you want to go. The tube's in the water."
Yeah.
And at the end of the week, we read their reviews, and he wrote, "I'm sorry if I was annoying, but I just felt really comfortable with you guys." And I was like, you know what? That is a
cool.
Nice thing. The poor guy is just like gotten so much abuse from his sisters.
He's been tormented through his sisters.
Yes. Well, I'm one of 7, so there was 5 girls and 2 boys. So I know my sisters even annoyed me. So I get it. All right. What is your craziest guest story?
No.
Or craziest broker? You could tell me that too if you want.
Okay, so
That's a good question. You're gonna have to think about the quiz is perfect.
Yeah, we haven't really.
You must have
any.
heard some stories to ask that question.
No. I'm a broker, so I get that we're a little bit crazy sometimes.
No, we have a good guest one.
Oh gosh,
I
yes.
was telling that.
Which one?
The flute.
Oh yeah. Okay, so it was last season actually, and we had guests from New York, New Jersey, and great charter guests, but all the men were really big and tall. Like, I guess I'm pretty average. I'm 5'8", but they made me look small, and I'm like, okay, cool.
No, they were huge. They were very big men.
And we went to little Joost van Dyke, just off Joost van Dyke, to like kind of stay out for the night, because we had rough weather coming from a weird angle, and that was pretty much the only spot where we could go for the night. And we played heads up with them.
Yeah.
So we were playing heads up in the fly bridge.
This was at night. You got to set the scene.
Okay, so it was nighttime. There's no moon.
Lights.
I think there's only like 5 or 6 other boats around us, but most of the boats over there were like your cruisers and stuff. So we had all the lights on, underwater lights. Like we looked very inviting, if you want to say that much. So we were sitting in the fly bridge and playing heads up, but I'm very competitive. Kelly's very competitive, and that family is a next level competitive. I'm in it to win it. I don't care. I'm going for it. So we're all like locked up in the game. And all of a sudden, like, we're sitting back and this random guy comes walking up on the side. He looks a bit like a hippie, but like he just, we all look at each other for like 5 seconds, be like, wait, do you know him?
Yeah, the guests are like, do you know this guy? And we're like,
okay, what?
Do you know this guy?
Yeah, like, what's happening? And while we contemplating who knows this person, he's like, hold on, doesn't say a word, hold on, takes out his flute and starts playing flute. And I'm like, hold on. And so we all like kind of get up at the same time, but these tall guys just like beat me to it. And they're like, they grab the guy, they're like, what are you doing? Yeah, who are you?
Oh
like,
gosh.
Let's not like make this too much. Like, of course, shouldn't be getting on someone else's boat unannounced. So we all go downstairs, and I see that there's a tender or dinghy attached to the boat with someone sitting in there, but you can see the person sitting in there is looking at us being like,
he doesn't know where he is.
I don't know what I'm doing. They were probably
one of those parties
boinkers.
that we just spoke about.
Yeah.
He was like, well, we heard noise because obviously we're in the flybridge playing, and we saw the lights. They looked like a party, so he just came on and like reaches into his bag, and at this point, like, what are you reaching for?
Yeah, he just starts playing.
And then you realized you woke up from drinking the tea at Trellis Bay. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Oh my god! I'm sure that.
I mean, who comes on with a flute?
Yeah.
What was it, like an accordion, or a like?
Yeah, it's one of those. But it was
weird, wicked.
It was one of those, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was one of those.
Is it?
It was quite
Like a recorder. Oh, self-made, like made out of the reeds or something, or
something like that. But it was
wicked.
Very.
You're talking to musicians here.
Very bizarre.
I don't know. I think it was
like I was kind of like a little bit annoyed at myself for pausing for 5 seconds and trying to like figure out what is going on.
Yeah.
Because it was just so bizarre. Like, it's never happened before.
Yeah.
And that was for sure like one of the highlights of the trip. Is when they're like, Wouts, if you ever have someone get onto your boat again, you better call us.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Trip is full of adventures.
Yeah, that was a tough trip. We had
a lot of fun, but I was
we had an injury on the boat as well, where the person, like, how do I say it?
I don't think they'll watch this.
So
we can cut this part.
They were heavy drinkers. Let me put it that way. They were heavy drinkers, and the one guy particularly drank a lot of margaritas that day, because my cocktail of the day was margaritas.
Mm-hmm.
And later on went to the bow of the boat where the cooler box was with ice in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw him go past the side, but we were inside busy cleaning up and doing dishes and everything. And I kind of like saw a reflection moving past, open the cooler, get some ice, and then walk 2 or 3 feet back to the stern where everyone was partying. and we just hear absolutely the biggest bang I've ever heard, and like the whole boat vibrated. And I was like, what was that? And I run outside, and he's just face planted flat down on the boat. And he pretty much passed out while walking.
Oh my goodness.
We had to call medical services to come and pick him up and take him to the hospital. He spent the night at the hospital, and we had plans to go to the bath the next morning.
Yeah.
And the family was like, no, let's go to the bath. He can meet us there. It's his problem and his fault that he got.
Oh my gosh.
That was the same trip as the flute guy as well. It was all 1 week. I'm like, this is absolutely bizarre. But we absolutely loved the family. They were amazing people.
Can I just add, he passed out. It was dark, and the impact of him landing on the boat opened the shutters of the cabin that he landed on.
Oh, wow.
And his father-in-law was just out of the shop.
Just getting dressed.
Oh, no.
And everyone's like helping this guy because he's on the hatch, and everyone's helping this guy to like kind of, are you okay? Are you okay? And we're just looking straight down on the dad as well.
It was terrible.
It was.
Wow, it's very funny.
It was. He comes up. He's like, "What was that? Did someone just bump into us?" I'm like, "No. Someone just fell." They're like, "Where?" I'm like, "Right above you." They're like, "Is that why my shutter opened up?" I'm like, "Yep."
Oh my goodness.
What did you see?
Oh my God. That week was just full of surprises, and it was bizarre, but it was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
It was.
Wow, those are good ones. Both of those are good. I really like the flute thing. Like,
I know.
It was,
and it's the same trip.
Yeah, all in 1 week.
Gosh.
Yeah, it was a full week, you could say.
Well, how many more charters are you guys looking to book this season? Do you think?
So, our goal for a season is about 15.
Okay.
Because that gives us enough time, like in between as well, to make sure that the boat's fully prepped and ready.
Yeah.
And also like kind of so that we get some rest in between too. Because last season we were doing 25 charters with minimal breaks in between, and like you can just feel that your energy goes down a little bit, and you can't really. Because I mean, these guys usually just do this either once in a lifetime trip or once every 5 or 6 years, whichever. So you just feel bad that you can't give them
your most,
and like their best experiences. You just don't have the energy.
Right.
So
especially when the charter goes like the one that we just told you about.
Yeah. They were going hard all day.
Yeah, exactly. But we have 3 charters booked for this season. So we pretty much have 11, 12 that we can still book for the season.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, like Kelly mentioned earlier as well, we'll be in the Bahamas. We'll be back in the Bahamas kind of mid-April.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and we're there all summer.
Yeah.
When will you go on holiday yourselves?
In
May.
Okay. May.
Yeah. So we'll be going in May because we'll be on the boat for 90% of the hurricane season, because this year is a year full of babies and weddings. So there's a lot of that happening this year. So we have to like kind of try and figure out which is the best time for us to go.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and it's difficult sometimes, but it's okay.
Yeah. Well, awesome. I really say that one more time. Sorry.
I was just saying it's all booked out in the calendar anyway, so there will be no surprises for brokers trying to book.
Yeah, of course. Well, awesome. I've really enjoyed hanging out with you guys. Thank you for tuning in to the Songs in the Sails podcast. We thrive because of listeners and viewers like you. Please like, subscribe, share, and leave us a review. If you have comments and questions, please send us an email, YachtCharters@songsinthesails.com. Now, come sail away.